How serious is Trump's threat to impose new sanctions on Russia?
Well, right now we're hearing from the U.S. president that he wants to wait on new sanctions to give the peace process a chance to come to a final deal between him and Putin. We have seen that he has been making new and more frequent threats to impose new sanctions on Russia, especially in the wake of some of the heaviest bombardments from missiles and drones that Russia has sent against Ukraine since the start of the war. Clearly, there is a level of rising frustration on the part of the president, but until now, he's been very reluctant to impose any kind of punitive measures, worrying that they will disrupt the peace talks or disengage his attempts at rapprochement with Moscow. Clearly, he's favored bettering relations with the prospect of future economic cooperation with Moscow over any kind of punitive measures to try to force President Putin to the negotiating table. Now, talks so far have produced very little. They've been going very slowly. It appears that President Putin does not want to end his war. He's seeking more military gain on the battlefield. So if that continues, that could frustrate President Trump and potentially change his tune. He is under an awful lot of pressure from senators, some in his own party, to impose sanctions. So that is a dynamic to watch there.
Greg, President Zelensky also held talks with the German Chancellor yesterday. So what has concretely come out of that meeting?
Well, there's a few things here. One is that Germany agreed to new aid for Ukraine and will help it develop a domestic industry to manufacture its own weapons. Ukraine has been seeking the use of long-range weapons to strike inside of Russia as it seeks to degrade Moscow's ability to attack Ukraine. It wants to target airfields, missiles, weapons storage, things of that nature. So far, Germany had been reluctant, especially to supply the long-range Taurus missiles. But now we have Germany agreeing with Zelensky to help develop the Ukrainians' own industry. Now, the dynamic here is interesting because, obviously, U.S. support, there are key questions around whether that will continue and in what ways. We've seen support waning from the U.S., so this will help Ukraine turn to a more self-reliant stance as it continues to fight its war against Russia.